This is Shane Simmons from the Appalachian Project coming at you today, almost in St. Charles, Virginia, in Lee County. Not quite there yet, but I wanted to give you a shot. We're about to come up on some beautiful ice, if you can imagine that. So I'll jump in the gun a little bit on the St. Charles video, but hey, give me something good to talk about here for a second. And we are just about to hit it. You'll notice on the right side of the road, coming out of the mountains where that's iced over, and there is a long streak of this as I drive through here. It is absolutely beautiful, and it looks like I've heard people compare them to bridal veils, and I can see that. And I've never been a bride, but I've seen a few in my day. And it is a tremendously foggy day here as well. As you can see, it's not my camera. It is a very foggy, overcast day here. Almost reminds me of those episodes of Scooby-Doo where Shaggy and Scooby get out a knife and make a donut out of they just cut out a donut out of the fog and eat it. Anyway, we're about to hit St. Charles here in just a minute, but I wanted to give you a shot of that first. St. Charles, home of the midgets. You don't see that name used very often anymore, and that was the mascot for the St. Charles team. St. Charles is a big player, as most of these Southwest Virginia towns were, in the coal industry. And it has been hit really hard since that has left. The name St. Charles came from the president of, or a local coal operator named Charles Bondurant. They matched his name with his secretary's last name, which was St. John. So we came up with St. Charles, and it kind of stuck. We'll head to Bonnie Blue here in a second. This is the road that you take there, and that's another interesting place to go. We're going to head downtown for just a second. St. Charles. This place was used to be jam-packed with people and life and energy, but as you can see, it's been pretty well pounded. There's a lot of empty buildings down here now. Here is a mural. I always love to stop and take a look at this. Somebody put a lot of work into that, and it really jumps out at you when you see it. And it's on the side of the old UMWA building. So of course the population has dropped tremendously here, but people that are from St. Charles have a tremendous affection for their background and for this town, and hopefully some of them will show up in the comments on this video. There's the United Methodist Church of St. Charles. Beautiful structure. I've stopped in through here a few times and talked to some people. It's just wonderful, open, kind people. Like you often see in these places. It's pretty rural out here. It's not something where Joe Q Public just ends up here. You got to be looking for something to come this way. So they kind of want to know what your business is, but I've never had any problem with anybody here. They wants to know what I'm trying to do. They've always been very open and receptive, and I tremendously appreciate that. You don't get that everywhere, but by and large, most people, if they know you're respectful and have an appreciation for a town and its history, then they're a lot more likely to be open with you and give you some information that way. Turn around and go back down into that main part of town again here in just a second once I find a wide spot, but just want to give you a shot of St. Charles. It's like I said, it's another place that has lived and died off of coal, and right now, of course, the coal has been struggling, and with that, you see population drop as people had to move for work, that type of thing. You do have a lot of older generation who've really attached to this place, and you see that a lot as well. A lot of times when I just go one swoop through town, I miss something. I try not to do that here, especially in smaller towns like this where it's very easy to navigate and go right back around. We did a picture post on St. Charles last year sometime, I guess it was, and it did really well. There's a lot of interest in that, so I thought it would be a good place to revisit. Some of the old coal houses are still in existence. Actually, quite a few are down through here. And again, just like you see everywhere, varying conditions. A lot of people take really good care of them, and then some of them have fallen by the wayside. Or as the population drops, there's obviously not enough people to fill the houses up, so you know the weakest one drops, and that's how that goes. But there's a lot of nicely well-maintained houses here as well, and you know people that have been born and raised and lived here for generations, they take a very large amount of pride in keeping their place up. You can see how crowded it was at one time. If you look up on the hill, it's people build anywhere they could fit a house in because it was so hard to find housing back in the day. And I will let that person tailgating me go by. Don't want to hold anybody up if possible. So, see, here's the Health Services Black Lung and Respiratory Care Center. Unfortunately, that is another byproduct of a mining background, is the need for black lung services. And another shot of some of these older buildings down through here. They've stood the test of time really well. They're obviously constructed very well of brick, which has helped them to survive. And here's the St. Charles Community Center. And to the left is the Town Hall, tucked away back in the hills. There's a little memorial park over here. Bonnie. And we're back again to the other side of town here near the fire station and the elementary school. And that was a little pass-through, again, of St. Charles, home of the midgets. And I will see you in the next video, which will be, hopefully, if all goes well, and I make it before it gets dark, it will be in Bonnie Blue. Until then, I'll talk to you later.